Yo, welcome back to the Horror Metal channel. I just did a tag video called the Comic Book Tag, created by Bill from the channel Broncolo Juggalo Talks Movies. I'm about to do another tag called the Star Trek Tag by Sean Erschen. So today I did two different tag videos, one by Bronco Juggalo and one by Sean Erschen. And those two guys, along with me, make up the Blood Spatter Trio. Episode 2 of the Blood Spatter Trio will be coming very soon. I'm going to be making a promo video for that here pretty soon. So anyway, let's get on to the Star Trek tag. As you guys probably already figured out, my second favorite genre next to horror is, of course, sci-fi. And I think that Star Trek is probably the greatest sci-fi TV show of all time. Right up there with Battlestar Galactica and Doctor Who. So my favorites, of course, being Star Trek, the original series, which is the one that started it all. This is where it all began. The original series. Absolutely love it. Some great stuff there. Resulting in some truly great times. And also love Star Trek, The Next Generation. Those two are my favorites. The other shows are really good, too. Deep Space Nine and all that. Also very good. But my two favorites are definitely the original series and Next Generation, so. But I plan on getting some of the other ones on DVD as well. I also love all the various movies, the ones that came from the original series, the ones that came from the Next Generation, and the reboot series as well. All very good, very pleased. So yeah, huge Star Trek fan. I even have some of the books. Been a Star Trek fan all my life. Being a huge sci-fi nerd, Star Trek is right up my alley. So let's go ahead and begin the Star Trek tag by Sean Erschen. Question number 1. Who is the best captain of the Enterprise? Oh, it's a tough one between Kirk and Picard, but I think I'm definitely going to go with Kirk. Captain James T. Kirk, as played by William Shatner. Yeah, again, it's a close-up between him and Picard, but I'm going to go with Kirk overall. So yeah, I think most will agree with me, but Picard definitely has his moments too. It was a very hard choice between the two, I must say. I also really like Captain Janeway, but I think Kirk is the best. Anyway, question number 2. What is your favorite Star Trek series? Definitely the original series from 1966, the one that started it all. Again, Next Generation's a very close second, but I think the original series surpasses it just by a little bit. So many great memories. Alright, question number 3. What is your favorite Star Trek movie? Definitely Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I know a lot of people agree with me. I think that was the most action-packed, the most entertaining, the most exciting. It was definitely a big step up from Star Trek, the slow-motion picture, which, I'm sorry, that movie is just boring and dull. It just drags on. Every once in a while I'll revisit it and say, maybe I just wasn't mature enough the last time I watched it, or maybe I didn't get it and I just watched it and was like, oh man, this is boring. Star Trek II is definitely the superior film, I think. And of course, we got Khan Noonien Singh returning from the episode Space Seed, who's probably the best villain in the whole franchise, played by Ricardo Montalban. Just awesome villain, great adversary, great movie. Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, would be a very close second. Yeah. Oh yeah. All the even-numbered films are really good. Alright, so, question number 4. Who's your favorite character in the franchise? Oh man, that's a tough one. I got so many good ones. Of course, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Picard, Data, Worf. So many great ones. But I'm going to go with Spock. It's a very close up between him and Kirk, but I'll go with Spock. I just think he's so cool. The Vulcans are a really cool, interesting race anyway, and I just love how he's basically emotionless, and he only does things that are logical, you know, as opposed to things for like passion or whatever, you know. He does things due to logic and not, you know, he's not driven by emotions, which is really interesting. And he's actually half human. You know, he has a human mother, Vulcan father, so it's actually pretty interesting. But he's mostly Vulcan by nature, I think. But he's showed a human side here on a few occasions. But yeah, it's definitely Spock is portrayed by Leonard Nimoy, one of my favorite characters. It was very close with him and Kirk, very close. I kind of teeter-totter between the two, as does probably every other Star Trek fan. Question number 5. Who's your favorite villain in the franchise? Khan. Is portrayed by Ricardo Montalban. Benedict Cumberbatch did a pretty good job too in Star Trek Into Darkness, but Montalban did it a lot better. He was a lot cooler as Khan, and of course in the TV episode Space Seed where he made his debut, he was probably the best villain in the whole original series too. So yeah, I'd go with Khan. Commander Kruge was pretty cool too from Star Trek 3, played by Christopher Lloyd. I think that movie's actually kind of underrated. You know, Search for Spock. It's probably the best of the odd-numbered movies, I think. And I think it's pretty underrated because my only complaint about Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan, is him and James Kirk never really become face-to-face. They're never in the same frame together. They just see each other in the video monitor, but they're never in the same shot because William Shatner and Ricardo Montalban filmed their scenes separately. So that was my one issue with that movie. Other than that, it's awesome. Definitely the definitive Star Trek film, I would say. And Khan is my favorite villain for all those same reasons. All right, question number 6. What is your favorite alien species in the franchise? Oh, man, there's so many. Well, most people will probably say either the Klingons or the Vulcans, or maybe even the Romulans, the Tellarites, the Orions. So many great ones. So many awesome and very interesting and fascinating alien species with cool designs. And, of course, there's the salt monster in was the Man Trap, which was like one of the first episodes, not counting the pilot episode. That was a really scary looking thing with the hands and the creepy looking face, and it was a shapeshifter too. I think this is what it's called, the Salt Monster, the Salt Creature. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy looking thing. But I'm gonna say the Andorians again. I know everybody's gonna say the Klingons. Maybe some people say the Vulcans, but I think the Andorians had a cool look. They had the blue skin and the white hair and the antenna. I think they're pretty cool looking. Yeah, and I know that Reggie Nalder, who played Kurt Barlow in the original Salem's Lot, he played one, and he was he was one of my favorite minor characters in the series. He had a very brief role, but he was cool. Really awesome makeup job. I think the Andorians have a really cool look. Again, I know the Klingons are more important to the series. They've done a lot more, and there's more focus on them. But I just wanted to kind of break from the mold and say something different. But I'm sure the Klingons are definitely more more remembered and more fondly looked upon, and probably more interesting overall. Because when you think of Star Trek, you think of Klingons or maybe Vulcans, but I'm going to say Andorians. I want to see some more Andorians. They need to make a Star Trek movie with an Andorian villain. That'd be awesome. Anyway, let's go with Andorians for that one. Though, yeah, I understand why Klingons are more popular. All right, question number 7. Do you enjoy the J.J. Abrams reboot movies? Yes, I do. I think they did a really good job. They really captured the feel of the classic Star Trek. The casting was dead on. Chris Pine was a great Kirk. Zachary Quinto was a great Spock. Carl Urban was a great McCoy. Not as good as DeForest Kelley, but definitely up there. The cast was they nailed it with the cast. I think they did a great job casting those movies. Benedict Cumberbatch was a pretty good Khan. So yeah, I definitely liked him. I'd like to see more. I'd like to see him make a 4th one. But I really want William Shatner to be in the next one. Have him have at least a cameo role, because Leonard Nimoy got to be in the first 2, so it'd be really cool to see Shatner. And make an Andorian villain too, or have the Borg come back. I'm wondering if they're going to adapt the Next Generation into a reboot series, a reboot movie. I really can't picture anybody else playing Picard other than Patrick Stewart though, but. Hey, they managed to find really good actors to play the original series cast, so hell, I'm sure they could do it. All right, anyway, so yes, I do enjoy the J.J. Abrams. I do enjoy the new Star Trek films, definitely, and I'll definitely want to see more. Question number 8: What is your favorite Spock moment? Oh man, there's so many good ones. The monologue while he's dying at the end of Star Trek 2. I'm going to go with one that I don't hear a lot of people mention. It's a very subtle, very quick, very brief moment. I just think it's so cool. That's the enemy within. Towards the end, near the end, where he sneaks up on the evil Kirk and performs the Vulcan nerve pinch on him. You just don't see it coming. I was like, damn. I love when we got to see Spock really kick some ass at times. He was really actually a pretty good fighter, and I love when he would do something heroic like that. And he's just so cool and so suave, no emotion. He just does the nerve pinch and just doesn't even think twice about it. It's just so awesome. So it was a really subtle and really awesome moment. It really made Spock look like a badass, and that's probably why I picked him as my favorite character. Just little moments like that. And yeah, there's so many various awesome monologues you can pick from. Live long and prosper. It's only logical. So but I'm gonna go with the Vulcan nerve pinch. that one part, The Enemy Within. I think that was also William Shatner's best acting performance, by the way, when he plays the evil Kirk. That was just awesome. I am Kirk! It's so cool. All right, so question number 9. What is the best Star Trek TV episode? Oh man, so many good ones. Off the top of my head, from the original series, I know most people are going to say City on the Edge of Forever. That's the one where McCoy accidentally goes back in time and he changes the course of time somehow, and they have to figure out how. Kirk actually falls in love with a girl, and come to find out that she's the reason why the future has changed. And so he needs to know, does he need to save her? Does he need to let her die? You know, what's happening. It's a very emotional episode, very gripping. The time travel thing's interesting because it's not very often you see the characters on Earth in like the present day. Well, not the present day, but like in Earth in a contemporary setting. Well, more contemporary than, than the distant future when they're on the Starship Enterprise. But yeah, pretty cool episode. Most people say that's their favorite, and I probably agree. I think that is definitely one of the better ones. But I will say that I also really like Space Seed, which again was the first introduction of Khan. Balance of Terror, Journey to Babel, the Corbomite Maneuver, Enemy Within, as already mentioned, Arena, which is one where he fights the Gorn, that lizard monster, Amok Time, which is a really good Spock episode. You see a lot of Spock in that one, and you get to kind of see his backstory and stuff. Devil in the Dark, where there's this creepy blob monster that looks like lasagna that lives in a cave. It's been killing people. It's a pretty cool looking creature with an interesting design. Yeah, Devil in the Dark is a good one. Trouble with Tribbles, everybody loves that one, the little furry balls. I'd love to have a pet Tribble, that'd be cool. And The Way to Eden, which is a really funny episode. They have these really hilarious hippie type characters. Charles Napier's one of them, and he plays this weird looking instrument and sings these ridiculously funny and cheesy songs. Yeah, a lot of people are probably going to pick that one as their favorite, but I think it's hilarious. I think it's a riot. I like the more silly episodes. Also like the one where they go to that planet and there's these plants that shoot this dust and makes people like really happy, but kind of a little too ignorant to what's going on. It's like, ignorance is bliss. And even Spock shows a lot of emotions in that one. The name of it escapes me at the moment. But that was a really good one. So yeah, so many good ones to choose from. But I guess I'll say City on the Edge of Forever, like everybody else. It's a very good one. Yeah, if I spend a little more time on it, I could probably come up with one I might like even better than that one. But let's go ahead and go down for now and get things moving. And question number 10, the final question. What is the worst Star Trek TV series? Well, I don't think any of them are really, really bad or anything. I'd say my least favorite is probably Enterprise, just because it's not quite as good as the others. It's not terrible, but it's just not as good as the others. And I haven't really seen much of Discovery yet, so I can't really comment on that one. But the ones I've seen a lot of, probably Enterprise. So yeah, I go with that. But anyway, I love Star Trek. A huge Trekkie here. I'll continue to watch these movies up until the day I die. I mean, these shows and everything, read the books and everything. I love Star Trek. I love the whole world of Star Trek that Gene Roddenberry and company created, and I'll continue to be a Trekkie as long as I live. So, all right, guys, I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching, and live long and prosper. Later.